Hey guys, it's Jason. Welcome back to Martial Arts Theater 3000. We're returning to my Bruce Lee series. Hope you guys have been enjoying it so far. If you like this type of content, please hit the like button and subscribe. It always helps the channel. And let's just jump right back into it. The Bruce Lee movie we're looking at today is Return of the Tiger. Some people call this a sequel to Exit the Dragon, Enter the Tiger in name only. And while I do agree with that, I think the reason they say that it's a sequel, outside of the obvious title, is you have the two main villains returning. But as is a lot of loose sequels, when there's villains that are killed, you can't really resurrect them, so they're in different roles, of course. And this is a Taiwanese film. I didn't really catch if they're trying to set it in Hong Kong. It gives me the vibe, of course, of those Hong Kong 70s crime thrillers with the nightclubs. I mean, this one has so many nightclub scenes, it's crazy. The main attraction here is, of course, Bruce Lee. He's partnered up with Angela Mao. They are such a great duo. It's a little strange. They agree like about, say, a third into the movie to split up, but they don't show what Angela Mao is up to. I mean, she pops in occasionally, but I don't know if she was out filming other movies. That probably would make the most sense. But for how great they are together, I wish they could have, had way more screen time. And I would have loved to see the two of them go on to do multiple movies because they really have great chemistry. The two aforementioned villains that return, Chang Yi, who was the Baron in Exit the Dragon, Enter the Tiger, and then we also have Lung Fei. Chang Yi steps back a bit. He is under his boss, which is Paul L. Smith. Now, you may know him from Conan the Destroyer, in his most world-renowned role as Bluto in the Popeye movie with Robin Williams from 1980. What Return of the Tiger has going for it, and why I think it's better than Exit the Dragon, Enter the Tiger, is the fight scenes are excellent. They're really, really solid, and they come quick. The fights start, a minute in. Angela Mao shows up on the scene. Bruce Lee shows up. And the fight scenes are dispersed perfectly in this movie. Some people might not like how much exposition is in this movie. Of course, it involves drugs and gangs, because it's that 70s kung fu movie crime thriller period. And there's tons of twists and turns in this one. But I could see some people having issues with how much exposition there is in this movie. That's why when it busts out into a fight scene, it's much needed to break up the monotony of a lot of the conversations that go on in this film. And what can I say? I can't get enough of this 70s period of Bruce Lee. This really does not come across as a Bruceploitation film. This is a Ho Chung Tao / Angela Mao film through and through. As they say, because Bruce Lee's in it, it gets lumped into the Bruceploitation genre. And I think it also has the factor that we wish there had been more Bruce Lee movies where he could go off and do these different various types of crime thrillers and see him in different roles. And Bruce Lee, it's like he kind of carried the torch. If Bruce Lee had done these movies, of course they'd be different, way higher budget. There'd be more of the Jeet Kune Do philosophy, of course, interjected into it. But just as kind of like a what-if scenario, that's why I think when it's a Ho Chung Tao movie, it can still come off as Bruceploitation because it's kind of playing off the fact he looks like him, but there's no thumbing of the nose, no catcalls in this. We do have some jumpsuits though. For the plot and acting on this one, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. I think with all the twists and turns, as long as you're really focused and don't look away or even daydream, you got to really take note of all these characters in this. As long as you do that, you can go along for this ride. But if you just miss a small moment or don't catch which name they say, it can get very jumbled quickly. But the plot still comes to a nice finale at the end. And I gotta say, this is one of Bruce Lee's greatest acting performances. For the action and fighting, I'd give this one a 9 out of 10. I'd almost give it a 9.5 if there was a little more of the intricate style that you see creep in here, because this is once again a mixture of straight kung fu, some basher elements. They love to grab pipes in the environment around them to bash you over the head with. But don't get me wrong, these fight scenes are amazing. There's a fight scene in the Japanese dojo at the beginning. Gives me a vibe of Karate Champ. I'm almost waiting for the little ref to say begin. And those fight scenes, man, they're brutal and such a joy to watch. But you got to give it up to the finale here. Paul L. Smith, he's enormous. He has a strange stature. He doesn't come off as such a tall guy because of how stocky he is. But when you see him next to anyone in these movies, you go, oh man, he is enormous. So that's the attributes that he uses when he fights Bruce Lee at the end. Everyone who goes up against him is being thrown around, thrown into barrels, and Bruce Lee has to come up with some clever maneuvers to take on such a giant. Oh, and there's also the funny part where Paul L. Smith bursts through the brick wall like the Kool-Aid Man. You gotta love it. All right, guys, so that's my review of Return of the Tiger. I think it's a great one. I'm curious what you guys think. I think most people might consider this one slow, and I would as well if they didn't have those fight scenes breaking up everything perfectly. Like I said, let me know down below what you think of Return of the Tiger, and I'm going to be jumping into some lesser-known Bruce Lee movies for these next few here. If you have any hidden Bruce Lee gems you want me to review, let me know in the comments down below. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.